Hey there, beautiful souls. Welcome back. Today I have a message for you. Like always, you guys know that these messages are coming from my own personal experience. I know you hear me say that every single time. But today I want to talk to you guys about something that has been, I did mention it a few Facebook Lives ago, just in terms of some kind of a traumatic experience that I went through, which was, kind of based on the series of a bunch of different events that kind of reached their boiling point in my life, to the point where I had to, it cost me a lot, time-wise, financially, and definitely in a kind of spiritual way. It cost me a lot, right? And it also, I was able to gain a lot through my own growth and empowerment through these kind of really challenging situations that occurred. And today I want to talk to you guys about having a voice and why it's so important not to just sweep things under the rug, and also, kind of giving ourselves grace for the time that we may need if you have experienced some sort of trauma, some sort of injustice in your life, whatever that may be. I'm going to talk to you guys about my personal experience with this and what I've come to learn and understand through experience, basically on how to handle this stuff. So I would love for you, as you're tuning in, please do drop me a comment. Let me know you're here, say hi, let me know where in the world you're tuning in from, and have in mind, before we start diving into today's topic and what I share with you, have in mind maybe a situation or a scenario that's happened to you in your life where you kind of felt like there was an injustice or a disservice, or you may have been traumatized by something. Something was wrong, maybe there was a wrong done toward you potentially. And basically, you know me, I'm not about us playing the victim and, being, in our own sort of pity parties. But what I am about is the acknowledgement and the validation of what does occur, and your emotional experience around that. And also how to empower ourselves and move beyond it without avoiding it, which is the key, because I know in my own personal experience, I did a lot of avoiding of different issues, but that's not what I'm talking to you guys about today. Today, I'm going to share with you a bit of the experience that happened to me, and basically what I've done over the last year and a half to 2 years nearly in this particular realm, which has helped me grow and progress, and I've just now tackled the next layer of it. All right, so love seeing you guys tuning in. As I said, play along at home, and then I can't wait to dive into the comments with you guys and co-create this space. So make sure as we go along, you're commenting all of your questions or your words of experience and wisdom, anything that you want to share. Let's co-create and make a conversation out of this. But today's topic is, don't let your voice of truth be drowned out by your perceived helplessness in its expression making a difference. What do I mean by that? I mean, don't just shut up and shut down when you have an experience of perceiving that, well, it's not going to make a difference, right? Oh, what's the point? I'm just going to forget about it. I'm going to wipe my hands clean of it. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to have to do anything about it. It's not going to make a difference anyway. So, whatever. So the reason why I say this is for your own personal empowerment. And why am I saying this? So basically, I'll share with you a bit of my experience. I've shared this over the last year and a half or so, like I said, about what happened. But I basically entered an organization for my business, wanting to take my business to a new level, and basically, paying a lot of money for some pretty big promises that were made in terms of helping me to take my business to the next level and really serve you guys at my highest possible capacity. And at the time, I was looking for more structure. I was looking for a step-by-step system to follow. And I basically went to a free event, and I just signed up on the day, $25K in cash, paid this company based on their promises and the opportunities that were going to be given to me, and speaking with their salesmen, being promised a step-by-step system, which was what I felt was missing for me to take things to a new level in my ability to serve. And basically, just dropped $25,000 in cash in these promises, right? And over the series of months that happened after that, basically there was no follow through on what I'd been promised. Basically, the coaching that I received was completely conflicting with I got advice from two different sets of coaches. They both conflicted with one another, so I was left worse off, really, in more confusion, no direction of what I'd came for. And basically, at the time, and basically what happened, which was alerting me to how I didn't want to have anything to do with this organization. Basically, it was a couple of really unethical things happened with, number one, one of the owner of this company actually pursuing me when I had a partner, and actually telling me to break up with my partner. That was his coaching advice to me. And basically, a whole series of things happened, but he was trying to get me into a sexual relationship with him, right? And basically that was, my naivety got me buying into an organization like this. My naivety got me spending $25,000 with people I didn't even know and didn't even vet. My naivety got me into a circumstance where I was propositioned like a actress in front of Harvey Weinstein with my partner in the next room, with a person that I had honestly at that point in my life I'd put my success in the hands of, right? Metaphorically, I felt like without his help and guidance, I felt like I wasn't going to be successful in the ways that I wanted to, right? That was the perception that I had at the time. So it was a very scary position that I was put in, having this person that I felt like, oh my gosh, I don't think I can succeed without their help. And basically knowing his personality by this stage made me realize that if I made him feel rejected in any way, he could easily try and ruin my reputation, cut me off. And I honestly felt like in the position I was in at that point, I was lacking the self-belief that I needed, and I was trying to get that from that external source. So basically when all of this happened, it left me questioning everything in that company. And another couple of other unethical things happened, which were just ridiculous in terms of some of the packages that I signed up for, and basically behind the scenes, people trying to get me to pay more money, all sorts of things, right? Like I'd never experienced anything like it. And I learned a hell of a lot of lessons going through it. And at the time, what I actually felt was that even though I didn't get anything that I was promised that I signed up for with that money, I basically wiped my hands clean going, you know what, like I'm so lucky at this point in time that they'd showed their true colors. It gave me an opportunity for growth. I had great coaches in my life, a great support system to grow and develop myself. And basically I just thought, you know what, I paid $25,000 for something. I didn't get that something. I got this other something that is really beneficial for me. And that was transforming some of my naivety into wisdom, right? And discernment, and some really good ways of looking at the world and experiencing the world that weren't just in my idealistic kind of fantasy that everybody in this industry must have a heart of gold and must be so good and just want to serve and contribute to the lives of others. I had that kind of, the disillusionment that came with seeing that wasn't actually the case. So I took it for all the personal development it was worth and wiped my hands clean of that. Now, going through that, I can talk about it pretty easily right now. Going through that, it was quite traumatic because it wasn't just myself and my situation that occurred. I had a lot of people coming toward me sharing really horrific experiences in terms of sexual harassment, sexual abuse, financial, putting themselves into really bad financial situations. And when these people came forward to me, their stories were really heartbreaking. And what broke my heart the most was the fact that they shared these stories with this organization and people in the organization, and they were just kind of blocked out of the system and just shunned and swept under the carpet and not supported, not helped. And a lot of these people were actually suicidal. A lot of the women who had been abused weren't able to re-enter intimate partnerships. Like, I'm telling you, it was dark, right? Very, very dark stuff. And I felt at that time it was pretty traumatic to first have my own personal experience and then have all of these other experiences coming out of the woodworks. It was really heartbreaking and very traumatic for everybody involved. And basically at that time, like I said, I just thought, I just need to wipe my hands clean of this. I'm not going to go down that dark avenue. And I wasn't, I needed to focus on my own personal growth and healing before I got to the point that I'm at right now in my life, which is at a point where I'm not going to re-traumatize myself by taking the next steps. But basically, despite hearing time and time again all of these people going through similar or worse experiences than my own, being told that, there's no support, there's nothing being done about it in the organization, there's no changes being made or anything, I got to this point of realization where I felt like, you know what? It's not about the outcome. It's not about getting my money back, right? It's I wiped my hands clean. $25,000 well spent on all that growth, right? But basically, what I did get to the point of was a battle within my own character. Like, who am I as a leader of my own life? What do I believe is right? And as you guys have been following me for a while know, my biggest fear in life is getting to the end of my life being filled with regrets, right? Because I didn't take the right actions. And basically, even though I know the experience of going down the next path of having a voice in this scenario hasn't given anybody a result, I felt in my heart of hearts that in order for me to not have regrets and fully be free from my experience, I needed to voice rather than internalize my own experience and what I felt to be right. And so I took those necessary steps, right? I finally had the courage and the confidence to communicate with people higher in that organization and share with strength what had actually occurred and just give voice to that, right? Again, not holding any attachment to any outcome, just knowing that I need to align with the person that I feel in my heart of hearts what would be the right thing to do, right? And there's a reason behind that, which I'm going to explain to you guys in a second. But I took those necessary steps, and yeah, it kind of did open the door of a little bit of traumatic experience from that, because there was a lot of intimidation, there was a lot of really bad treatment. It triggered a lot going on for me, and it was a big wake-up call, like a massive slap in the face in terms of who to trust, right? And being more wise and intelligent about who we do trust and where we invest our energy and our money and our time and all of it, right? And so basically I've taken those steps and I'm feeling more and more empowered within myself and feeling more and more free within myself. And it's not because like the first step that I've taken got the exact result that I knew I was going to get, right? But I wasn't attached to my sense of helplessness, like it's not going to make a difference, because I'm taking other actions now outside of that again, not attached to the outcome. I just want to be the kind of person that knows that I do whatever it takes to right the wrongs in whatever is in my power, not attaching to the outcome, not attaching to how other people are meant to respond, but instead knowing that by doing this and taking right actions with whatever's in my power and the character that I wish to have, I will be free from regrets. Because it's not about the result that you get, it's about the action or the inaction that you take towards what you know to be right. All right. And so I'm committed to living a regret-free existence, right? And so that's what I've done. And I want to help you apply this to your own life in terms of asking yourself, what is it that you haven't spoken up about because of your perceived sense of helplessness, right? Like, oh, it won't even make a difference. And I want to talk to you guys about how whatever you do not give voice to that is true for you, you end up internalizing. And basically, we are not just this, one way. We're not just our cognition, right? Oh, well, I think it won't even make a difference, so whatever. I'm just going to intellectualize my way out of doing anything about it. That's one aspect of who we are as human beings. But what you don't realize oftentimes is that whatever we don't give voice to, we internalize and our body holds onto, particularly around anything that's traumatizing emotionally, right? Don't compare yourself to others, right? Because that's just an escape route that I've taken many, many times in my past. But actually look at the subjective ways that we are impacted emotionally. And it's not just your ability to intellectualize it away and say, oh, it doesn't really matter. It won't even make a difference logically, so I'm not even going to do anything about it. But to realize that if you don't give a voice to something that has emotionally impacted you, you actually end up re-traumatizing yourself internally. And this is where a lot of people have health conditions that come into play. One of the telltale signs for me that I've come to know is I tend to get a lot of jaw clenching and teeth grinding when I'm not voicing truths. And particularly when they continue to stack up and up and up and up and up. And I've had that feeling come up. Like I've got a really sore jaw right now because I'm finally allowing that stuff to come up so I can move through it. So don't underestimate the connection between your mind and body and your experiences. Whatever you do not voice, no matter whether you think it's going to make a difference or not, it actually ends up internalizing, and you're going to just keep re-traumatizing yourself with that unspoken truth. So the best, most self-loving and empowering thing that you could ever hope to do for yourself is to stay with your finger on the pulse of what your truth is, what's being left unspoken and unvoiced, and how you can actually give voice to that. Now, sometimes it might be in big actions like the ones that I'm taking right now. And look, the reason is not just that I want to live a regret-free life. Connected to that is, hey, I wish a hell of a lot of other people had have given voice to their past experiences that have been happening over the last 7 years or more, basically in this organization, that had they maybe done something about it, maybe I and others wouldn't have had to go through the experience. Again, I can take the value from the personal growth, but I want to do what's in my power to save other people from investing their money in the wrong place, right? Naively. And if I can do anything, I'm going to try it. But I'm just basically going to align with what I feel to be right. And I'm going to at least be regret-free. Hopefully it has a repercussion and a, kind of a ripple effect into the future for other people. But who knows, right? And I'm not attached to that outcome. But what I want you to think about is where you're not giving voice to past experiences, to current experiences. I'd invite you to write a list of all of your unspoken traumas or unspoken truths, right? What has happened to you in the past that you didn't give voice to, that you didn't stand up for? And basically, I want you to think about it like this. Like, think about you as your adult self is kind of your cognition and your conscious mind and your action taking out here, and your internal self or your inner child, that if you do not give voice to the wrongs that happen outside or give voice to what is true for you out here, what happens is your inner child, let's just name it that, basically doesn't feel safe in your presence and starts to play out. All right. And so basically, if you start thinking about yourself as the adult and your own inner child who needs your protection, who needs you to validate their experience and do something about it, right? Then once you start creating that dynamic and relationship with your adult self and your inner self, basically what will happen is you'll start to align with creating the life that you actually want, rather than sabotaging your success, because all your sabotage actually comes from that scared inner child that just doesn't trust the path that you take it on. And so that's where that comes out and it plays out. And so the best thing that you can do is create a really trusting and safe, secure relationship that you have within yourself, between that adult self and child self, so that you can be in alignment and working together towards creating the life that you want. And one way of doing that is to speak your truths. And sometimes that's going to be with the people that are involved, and other times that's going to be with just you communicating and understanding yourself through things like a journaling practice, having a coach, having somebody to talk to in your life that you trust, that you can process the actual emotion without diminishing it or judging it. And basically that is your process of being your own leader and healing your own self without attachment to other people, having to be a certain way or do a certain thing or apologize or any of that sort of stuff for you to be okay. All right. So I hope that what I've shared today is of value to you guys. I definitely want to check in with you guys in the comments. So drop me a comment. Let me know where you're tuning in from, and if you have any questions or if you have any experiences that you want to contribute to the conversation today. I absolutely love it when you guys co-create this space with me. So let me check in, but I've got Alice in the house and Javier. Hello to you, my friend. And Joe's here and Shet. And Ellis, good morning. Have a great day. Totally good visit, new training. Awesome. Always good to see you, Alice. And hope you're having a great day too. And AJ, hello to you, my friend. And Pedro and Filomeno and Sarah. Love your hair. You look like a real Barbie. I guess I'll take that as a compliment. Thank you, Sarah. Good to have you here, and hope this message is of value to you. And Jerry's in the house as well. And Bill, awesome. And Ramadahan, good to have you here. And Bill, you will not have sustained success or happiness surrounded by people who hate you and themselves. That is such a good lesson, and one that is definitely highlighted in the experience that I shared with you as well. And what I actually found was we can oftentimes be attracted to people or organizations or groups or any of it from a kind of unhealthy place, right? So basically at that time in my life, I was attracted to this organization because I felt like they were bringing the certainty when I had some self-doubt, right? And so basically I was attracted into that environment very naively and very doubting of myself and feeling like I needed them, right? And basically what happened was, through that journey and through my experience, because I tend to learn through experiences, I don't know about you guys, wish I could learn beforehand, but sometimes it takes the experience to learn the lesson. Basically, I started to realize that their actions weren't matching up with their words, and that is big for me. I don't care about what you say, I care about what you do. And I'm all for trusting and believing what you say you're going to do, but if you don't follow through on your word, I'm going to raise a bit of a question mark there. And that situation started to happen. And then I started growing and developing myself, and, and these experiences were happening. And then I started looking around to people around me who were also attracted to this. And basically they were sitting in these two kind of groups. One was very self-doubting, like I was when I came into that environment at that key point in my life. I was experiencing a big lump of self-doubt, right, in my humanity. And basically there were those group of people, and I found myself coaching them at every lunchtime, right? And I was like, hang on, like, you've got the answers, right? Follow through, back yourself. And I was listening to myself and heeding my own advice, right? And it was good. Sometimes we need people to be those mirrors for us. And then there was another group of people that didn't really become in my awareness until after these scenarios happened, and I had different conversations where there are a lot of people who are also attracted to an organization like this, who were pretty immoral and unethical within themselves, right? And so there's a lot, going on. And then there's other people who just choose to be completely oblivious to any of the negative workings, because if they own it and acknowledge it, it could threaten their sense of identity and also alert them to the mistakes that they have made in terms of all the huge amount of financial investment they've made and all sorts of things. So I understand the human psyche and the experience and how we all respond differently to these sort of experiences. But I know that is so true what you just shared there, Bill. And people who don't have your best interests at heart and instead want to work on a really good business model that has no ethics, which is, just keep you down, criticize you, judge you, keep you down, make you feel like you don't have the answers, that you can't do it without them, and keeping them on this kind of pedestal, right? And yeah, that's a good making money model. I don't know how long it's going to last and how sustainable that can be. But basically that's what I saw was happening there. And that is definitely not a healthy environment, and actually made me much even more passionate about helping the people that I do help become their own leaders, right? Stocking our own tool belts with the tools that we need to become our own very best leader. So we're not reliant on any external source we can learn from, get the wisdom from, but it's all for the purposes of becoming our own better leader, right? And instead, that's, not how they were operating. And basically, I'm grateful for some of those situations happening. But I did need to do this second piece, which was to give voice to my truth rather than take that burden on internally, and have to suffer the consequences of that, because you can't get over it cognitively. You also need to move through the emotional experience of it. And you also need to take some right actions that are aligned with the person that you choose to be, so you're regret free. All right. So love that, and can't wait to see you tomorrow, Bill, in our Inner Circle catch-up call. If any of you guys want to join us in the Inner Circle, in our monthly masterclass classes with the Limitless Potential Academy, you certainly can do so. Just drop me a comment or shoot me a message and I'll let you know the details. And we're on a call tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, which will be usually around the evening for you guys in the States, and pretty late for you guys around Europe, so and the UK. Love it. And Mohammed, hello to you. And Goldie, good morning to you. And Brian, greetings right back at you in New Jersey. Awesome. And Jose, yay. Oh, and I can open your message today. I love it. Hello, Vanessa. I'm sorry you went through that. Thank you for sharing your heartbreaking story. Unfortunately, all those dark avenues help us to find ourselves, but for good. Absolutely. In my opinion, because you are committed to help the others, life will reward you back in immense ways. On my own experience, if you keep believing and doing what is right, everything suddenly falls into place. But let go and forgive to the people or situations that wrong us. How to achieve that? I think we can't do that, only accept and move on. Oh, I love this. And thank you so much for those kind and beautiful words, Jose. I so do appreciate you. And yeah, absolutely. Look, I'm a big believer in, the forgiving thing and all the rest of it. It still involves other people, right? So I believe in just doing what you know to be right as yourself. What are your highest values? Are you fully aligning with them? If you projected out into your future, what would you regret not doing? What actions would you regret not actioning? What would you do if you had the courage to do what's right? And basically you being in alignment, focused on everything that is in your power to do, that I feel and have experienced is the pathway towards your freedom. Drop the attachment to any particular outcome that is out of your control in terms of what other people are supposed to do, say, apologize, act as, make the changes, all of that, and just make sure that you're fully in alignment with speaking your truth about what's right and taking the necessary actions. And so don't get too caught up in, you can't let go of things that you haven't personally moved through. But make sure that you're empowering yourself by not, as I said, making that in attachment to other people, having to be a certain way, and instead just go, how do I give myself exactly what I want from others, right? And what do I need to do to process the emotional experience, to heal from the past, to take the wisdom without skipping over, sweeping it under the rug and avoiding the work that you need to do? Because like I said, today's message is giving voice to your truth and what is right. Because when you do not give voice to it in whatever avenue is empowering for you, without attachment to other people, basically you internalize it, and it's what creates a lot of our physical ailments. You also create a sense of distrust, remember, between yourself, your adult self, and kind of that inner self that is up for sabotaging your success and not trusting your pathway and your decisions. If you're not creating a trusting relationship that you're creating safety and security for yourself with. So I'm a big believer and just take back the power. What do you need to do to heal yourself? Sometimes you need some external support on that. That's a big part of the work that I do, is helping people heal from the traumas of the past throughout their lives, basically with parents and other figures that they've had involved in their lives, different traumatic experiences that have occurred. Because if you feel like you're not living to your highest potential, if you feel like you sabotage your success, if you feel a lack of fulfillment and a kind of emptiness and kind of a same old, and you know you could be living up to more, but you're just not, and you see the days just ticking away, then basically you need to do some of this work, and you can't skip over it. I wish you could. Believe me, I gave it a go for years of skipping over the past and the emotions and actually just, focusing on the future and just wanting my goals, but you feel like a hamster wheel going over and over and over and over and over again and never getting anywhere, but you're exerting a hell of a lot of energy. So that is why I'm super passionate about helping people go through that first initial stage and then transcending to be present within your actual self and designing the life that you actually want and being all parts of you in full alignment with taking you in that direction. All right. So if you guys are interested in that, definitely reach out to me. I'd love to jump on a call with you, see how I could support you and direct you in the direction that will be most empowering and freeing for you. So thank you so much, Jose. I so appreciate what you've shared and the question, and I hope my answer was of value to you and supported you. And Jerry, awesome, from Quebec City in Canada, always coming from the railway station. Love it, my friend. And Sanford's in the house. Awesome, good to see you. And Sanford, experience cannot be taught in the classroom, but it can be learned or is the best teacher in life. Absolutely. If anyone is looking for a coach, Vanessa is and has been the best that I have had. Sanford, thank you so much for that beautiful comment. I so appreciate you sharing that. And you are one of my absolute favorite clients to work with. You are such an action taker. And I love the depth that you go to. And anybody who is interested in learning more about Sanford's amazing growth journey, we actually did a Facebook Live where I interviewed him just a few weeks ago. So drop me a comment, let me know, and I'll connect you to it, or just search on my videos. But you'll see that amazing story that Sanford has to share. So thank you for those words, and I can't wait to see you too, Sanford, in our inner circle tomorrow morning. So that is my message for each and every one of you guys today. I really hope it supports you on your journey. Believe me, like when you give voice to those things that you might be scared of giving voice to, or you feel kind of like, it's not even going to make a difference, why would I do it? I'm telling you, you will have the experience, like Sanford just mentioned, being the best teacher, right? Of that experience of actual empowerment. And now what happens is, as you gather and collect those experiences of you voicing your truth, doing what's right, aligning with the character of who you choose to be that will lead you towards a regret-free existence, basically you are going to be more and more tooled up and equipped to handle any of life's inevitable challenges, right? They're all coming our way. But how you're going to handle it is basically dependent on the relationship that you have with yourself, and the relationship that you have with yourself is dependent on the alignment that you have with courage towards the person that you choose to be, rather than letting life happen to you or being overcome by fear. We all have fears, we all have insecurities. Develop the courage to do the right thing, and basically you can only develop the courage by taking the action. So you got to just do it. You got to just face it and recognize that we're all experiencing our own set of challenges in life, our own set of transitions, but believe in yourself and back yourself. And if you're not believing and backing in yourself right now, seek some guidance and support. I love holding the torch for people to develop that belief in themselves, so I can hand the torch over and you've got the rest of your life to live empowered. All right, so that is it. And Jose, yes, thank you. Getting ready to write a book from your tips. Oh, I love it, my friend. It's so good to hear that was of value to you. So much love for each and every one of you guys. Thank you so much for showing up live with me today, for your questions, for your comments, for your words of wisdom, for your contributions. I so appreciate each and every one of you guys. And as always, my reminder is to make sure that you are always going out there and honoring your authenticity, deepening your intimacy, and contributing your gifts meaningfully and purposefully. All right, that is it from me. And like I said, if you want to join us in the Limitless Potential Inner Circle community with the Limitless Potential Academy, we have our next live call tomorrow, so you can come and check in. We're from all around the world. It's pretty amazing, and I'd love to get to meet you and dive deeper with you. If you want more information on how you can do that, now would be the time, so you can join us live tomorrow, and you can just reach out to me via message or email at vanessa@vanessajanepatrick.com, or drop me a comment. I'll send you the details. All right, so much love, and I can't wait to see you guys soon.